Know that this is going to sound bad. For me not to be able to kind of predict where it's going a bit in a standard superhero show, that's not the greatest thing. And don't say, oh, but it's great that's unpredictable. No, it's not. Because if you have a sense of direction, you kind of know where it's going. Hey everyone, welcome back to Canon Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing episode 5 of She-Hulk. It's going. It's going. Okay, I'm really trying for Tatiana Maslany, and it's fine. The show is fine. I think that the build-up for Titania, or Titania, I don't know why I say Titania, but Titania is a bit weak. Just, considering that we only got her at the very beginning, and then we didn't really have a villain in the past, 2-3 episodes, and then she pops up at the end, of the fourth one. It's been a really weak setup for her. And I felt absolutely nothing when she was on screen. I didn't feel like she was going against Jennifer Walters at any point. The conflict it's very weak. And I understand that they had to incorporate, some legal terms and all of that to make Titania relevant in her storyline, and slapping her with, the copyright for the name of She-Hulk is just, it's a bit of a stretch considering the newscaster did say her name first. So I get it. I get why there's they're throwing legal issues in there, but it doesn't make sense. And it's the 5th episode out of 9, I believe. So where are we going here? Where are we going? There is setup, but it's not strong setup. I'm more concerned with where the Hulk went. And that's really sad because nothing's happening in the show. It's a cause for concern. I think we're moving very slowly. And I know that we're trying to get to know Jennifer Walters, but at the same time, we're not getting to know Jennifer Walters. And it's at the surface level, which I've been saying since the very beginning that I started doing reviews for this series, is that especially in this episode, when Titania is calling out Jennifer Walters and her identity as She-Hulk, that was so important. What are the writers doing here? I think there's so much depth that you can go into for this character and develop her character even further to make her stronger. But sadly, that's not what they're doing. It's all for jokes. And they're not really touching upon the fact that, if any other woman would have an alter ego like She-Hulk and people liked her more than her human form, I'd be freaking out. I would have my own issues and sit in a corner basically and think about, why. Maybe I'm just an overthinker, but that doesn't make any sense how she doesn't even fully process the fact that people want her as She-Hulk more so than they want her as Jennifer Walters, who she has lived in her entire life. What bothers me is that everyone keeps saying that Phase 4 is about grief and introducing new characters and processing the past and blah, blah, blah. What is She-Hulk? She-Hulk does not fit in with that theme. So you can only say that for certain shows that they're fitting this theme. That's why it's good. But then when it comes to a show like this, you're flipping it. That doesn't make any sense. She-Hulk does not fit in the Phase 4 mold whatsoever. It feels like this should have come either earlier or a bit later. But again, and I'm going to say this, they made She-Hulk just to bring in Daredevil fully on the D+ shows, because they weren't going to do it in Hawkeye, because they couldn't do that on television before they showed him in No Way Home. So realistically, if Daredevil was supposed to pop up anywhere, it should have been in Hawkeye. They couldn't do it because of the timeline. So now that they are, spoilers, setting up Daredevil coming in next episode, which is the whole reason why they even put the suit maker in this episode, was to drop the clue of Daredevil in his helmet. It falls apart for me, because now this is the middle of the season and you're making people stay for the cameo. Meanwhile, wouldn't you want people to stay to watch it for the villain and then that conflict? So what are they building towards is the other thing. Is She-Hulk going to lead into Echo? Is She-Hulk going to lead into Daredevil Born Again? I have no idea. But again, She-Hulk is just connective tissue to the rest of the MCU. She's not getting any development. That's it. It's very one note. And I love Tatiana Maslany, but even she cannot save, this show for me. I don't want to say it's horrible. I don't want to say it's bad. There are some great moments. The secondary characters, Nikki and Pug, like, I love their dynamic so much. They need more screen time because they really make it for me. But everything else is just not working. It's not working. I understand that people have said from the comics that Jen and She-Hulk, they're integrated heavily into pop culture, and that's how the comics were. That's completely fine. There's a way to execute it properly, and this is not the way to do it. The structure of the series is all over the place. There's no clear direction. For me, and I know that this is going to sound bad, for me not to be able to kind of predict where it's going a bit in a standard superhero show, that's not the greatest thing. And don't say, oh, but it's great that's unpredictable. No, it's not. Because if you have a sense of direction, you kind of know where it's going, and they can still surprise you. Here, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no clue. Okay, even in Miss Marvel, there was a bit of predictability. Moon Knight, a bit of predictability. Okay, and that's fine because these are superhero shows. They're comic book shows. But here, it's not vibing. So unfortunately, again, episode 5 did nothing for me. The humor's not there still. The stuff in the courtroom with Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk and her not having an identity issue or even struggling or processing that is just absolutely ridiculous to me, because any woman would. Any woman would sit there and question why people like one version of her and not the other. Doesn't make sense. That's not authentic. So if you guys enjoyed episode 5 of She-Hulk, please let me know in the comments. I'm trying really hard to not be so tough on this show because I love Tatiana Maslany so much. We just need better writing. That's it. We need better writing. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.